We're going to be showing you guys how to repair rust on your door. And this is going to be a little more time consuming than really any other panel because the door is so crucial to the lines, especially the rocker panel, right?
Right.
Now look at the bottom of this, David.
Yeah,
This is why when it's closed, you really can't see it, but when it's open, you can see it's non-existent.
Nothing but,
So what are we going to do?
Well, the first thing you want to do on this is assess the overall truck, basically. Has it been in an accident? Are there 2-3 different doors and fenders and things like that? And the reason we want to do that is because if there are any damage, we want to compensate for that when we're doing the repair. Maybe the door here bows out too much in the front or the back, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to take care of all that at the same time.
Awesome. So what's the first step to this?
First step, we're going to take our fender off, then we're going to go ahead and take our door off.
First, we're going to disassemble the door off or on the truck?
No, I like to disassemble it when it's on the truck because it's a lot easier when it's more stable, when it's on the truck.
All right, let's get some tools and get started on this.
Right on. So the first thing I want you guys to notice is how big this is. Now, I'm not going to use all of this for this repair, but if I needed to, I've got a lot of metal here to work with. The same thing on the front panel right here. You can see it goes all the way up to damn near half the door. The rust is bad, but it doesn't go up that far. So I'm going to be able to stop this somewhere in this neighborhood here. Just because the patch panel is big doesn't mean you need to use it all. I only want to use the least amount of metal that I can to get the job done, make time saved. The inside of the door is actually one of your toughest pieces. And the reason being for that is it has to be exactly where it is. If you take this and you tilt it out too far, if it comes down too much, then you're not going to be able to shut your door. If you go up too far, then you're going to have an air gap and you're going to get that whistling noise. So in here you can see that the rust is quite aggressive. And then on this cut, when I do it, I don't want to do it straight across. And the reason being is that when you do a cut and weld like that, it can tend to want to buckle in or buckle out. But if you have it at a slight angle, then it'll kind of take that stress and spread it down, and you'll get less of that in there. On the inside, it's not as important. On the outside, it is extremely important. And the reason that we're doing the inside first again is because we have to make sure this is in the proper place. If I cut my outside skin off, I don't know where I'm going to put this. So what I'll do on this bottom edge right here is I'm just going to gently grind off the edge right here until it splits, and then I can take this little piece off, and then I'll be able to place it down and double check that my line right here is correct.
All right, Dave, tell the world what you're doing with that level.
All right, so if this plane right here is level and this plane right here is level, and they're level together, you know you're good. If we're tilting up or down, you know we're bad.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish up the bottom side of this door, and when we come back, we're going to show you how to replace and do the rest of it on the front side of the door, so stay tuned. All right, so Dave and I have pretty much shown you how to go ahead and repair the inside of the door, and now Dave is going to show us how to go ahead and replace the outer skin of the door, and he's got some good tips for us, right?
Right, yeah, so we just want to make sure that the bottom is going to stay even. We're going to measure 12 inches or whatever works best for your repair. When I'm cutting this off, I'm going to do it just like I did the inside. I'm going to do it at a diagonal, and where I cut it is very important too. I don't want to cut it at exactly the same spot that the inner patch panel was done. And the reason being is that the two patch panels going together like that at the same spot, it might be tough to get my angle correct. But if I take this up a little bit, then I'll be able to use the existing door structure to work the bottom down, and then everything will be able to match a lot better.
And that's when you go ahead and finalize your welding and make everything permanent, is when you've gotten both patterns perfect like you want it.
Right, because if we cut off the top, then when we do the bottom, it's not as easy to get it in exactly the same spot. So leaving this old metal here, placing it exactly where the original was, now we know we're good, now we can do the top.
And if you guys had minimal rust at the very bottom of the door, let's say 2 or 3 inches, and if you could have cut it inside the molding, that'll hide any repairs you may have, so that's the cool little tip.
That would have been nice, yeah.
But in our case, we have to go further up because the rust is so bad.
Yeah. Well,
let's get to cutting.
Alrighty then.
right, so you guys see that we're getting pretty far ahead on our weld. It's all done, it's smooth, you grinded everything down. But one question I wanted to ask you is, why didn't we weld the ends? You left about a ½ inch to an inch on the ends.
Right, because the ends, generally your door is going to go like this, and at the very end of the door, it's going to do a little curve in. So after we get our inside piece in, then I can finish that off. I can make sure my curvature is matching, and then I can finish my weld off.
More metal work is less body work, right?
Damn straight.
Good job. It's looking really good. All you got to do is roll that edge, right?
Right, you got to be careful when you roll your edge, especially right in here. If you take it and you hammer at the top too much, then it's just going to roll the whole thing in. So what we're going to be doing is just hammering it till we get a curve, and then it looks like this is even. And then once we get that curve going, then I can collapse it down and keep a nice line right here. So just take your time, you'll be fine.
Absolutely. And see, we got a little bit of welding to do still. We're going to finish up rolling this thing. And pretty much we have shown you guys all the tips and tricks that you need at home to be able to do some body work for yourself, save a bunch of money, and learn the techniques of the professionals so that you can have a good finished product without a lot of Bondo on there, right?
Yeah.
Cool, very nice job. What we're gonna do is finish this, let's reassemble the door and put it back on the truck.